I believe Dr. Markham will talk a little bit about why that was a shortened committee agenda for finance and her comments when we get to the full board. We'll move right on to the academic committee. I believe I saw Ms. Griffin. Yay! How are you?
Great.
I'll hand it over to you, Ms. Griffin.
Thank you, Dr. Brodell. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. It's great to see you. So we will get started with our academic committee meeting. We will take action on items 15 through 20 as a group, and I will ask if there are any questions before we move on to the next item. So we will start with agenda item number 15, found on page 15.1 of your agenda book. It's a new program, a Master of Science in Transitional Master of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics by Arkansas State University in Jonesboro. And Dr. Jesse Walker will provide background for this agenda item and respond to any questions that you may have.
Jesse, you're muted. Yep, still muted.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello.
We got you now, Jesse.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, Ms. Griffin. Sorry about the technical snafu. So these are two programs. Good morning. These are two programs. One is a Master of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics. The other one is traditional Masters of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics. Both are 36-hour degree programs. The first one is designed to be an on-the-ground traditional program, while the second program is designed to be an online program for Arkansas State Jonesboro. Currently in the state, there are only two similar programs similar to this. One is at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, a clinical nutrition program, and the other one is at the University of Central Arkansas, a nutrition program, nutrition science. Both of those programs currently have enrollment around 10 students, and this program is projected initial enrollment of 10 students in 2022 initially when it starts off, and they're required to reach at least 6 graduates by 2028. Dr. Karen Willer, who is the senior Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, will provide additional information about these two programs. Dr. Willer.
Thank you, Dr. Walker and board members. This proposal is a result of changes in licensure and accreditation requirements. Beginning in 2024, any individual that wants to be a licensed dietitian must possess a graduate degree in order to sit for the licensure exam. The accreditation board for this program mandated that existing programs offer a master's degree by 2023. So this master's degree will be an accredited non-thesis program to allow individuals to sit for licensure and a credential. And it will be a hybrid master's, as Dr. Walker said, but with some courses online. The companion program is the Transitional Master of Science Nutrition, and we've done this with a couple of other degree programs at A State because we have people that are grandfathered in with their license, but they don't have the higher graduate degree, and they might want to come back and obtain the degree, although they're currently licensed and will be grandfathered. And so this is going to be an unaccredited transitional master's for people that are already licensed, and for those who, for whatever reason, won't be seeking a license. It will be 100% online, non-thesis. The costs, there are some costs associated with this. We will need to hire one 12-month faculty, one 9-month faculty, and we will be obtaining an 11-month graduate assistant. Tuition will be the primary source for our revenue stream, and the enrollment will be capped at 15 based on accreditation standards. Thank you, Dr. Walker.
Okay, are there any questions for Dr. Wheeler?
Ms. Griffin, I've got a question, and that is that this program, as Dr. Walker said, one is on ground, one is online. Are the two now existing programs that UAMS and UCA, what are they? Are they on ground or online?
So both programs, Dr. Carr, are traditional programs on the ground.
Okay.
But they do have online course components.
So we're hoping that these two programs each have 10 students, and we're hoping that this new licensure requirement will help us generate 10 at ASU Jonesboro.
Yes.
Without the new licensure requirement, I would be reluctant to approve this with the other programs just having 10. Our guest from ASU is, I'm sure, going to assure us that we can get 10 now because of that. Is that correct?
Well, that should follow, because those 10 that we have in the bachelor's program now they will be seeking licensure. So most of our students, all of our students that come now seek licensure, and the only way they can actually obtain that license now is to obtain the master's.
Thank you.
Dr. Wheeler, Jerry Cash. What about the uncredited arrangement here? Is that going to be received by other states if a person wants to transfer and go to another state and work? Is the license going to be accepted? Is the reciprocity going to be there?
Well, with the licensed piece of it, the traditional, not transitional, but the straight masters, yes. With that transitional program, there will not be a licensure component with it. So they would just be carrying that credential with them, but no license.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions?
This is Al. I did have a follow-up. That, the answer you just gave to the transitional degree, that's because they're transitioning to a different degree, but they already have the license and it's being grandfathered in. Is that correct?
Correct.
So they will already have their license. They're just transitioning to a higher degree to have that degree certification.
Correct. And it could be an increase in salary. It might just be a prestige thing, because, you know, all of these new graduates all the new licensed folks will be coming out with a master's. And so we historically have found that when this occurs with accreditors, that some of those existing people with license do want the higher credential.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. I did have one other unrelated question. I saw in the cost associated with the in-person on the ground degree that the new costs are associated with faculty members. Were there any costs associated with additional equipment or space to meet the requirements of the new program?
No, sir.
Thank you for that.
Okay. If there are no other questions, we will move on to agenda item number 16, a new program, a technical certificate cosmetology instructor by South Arkansas University Tech. Dr. Walker will provide background information for this agenda item.
Ms. Griffin, we'll take 16 and 17 together because they're both from the same institution. I'll talk about both of them. So the first one is designed to enhance the skill set of those who are already licensed in terms of cosmetology, to enhance their skills to move to the instructor ranks. The program is designed to be a 24-hour program, traditional, and currently in the state, there are similar programs at most of the community colleges. For example, Arkansas State Newport has a cosmetology instructor trainee program that has about 3 students in it. Arkansas State Three Rivers has a cosmetology instructor program, about 2 students in that one. University of Arkansas Pulaski Technical College currently has a cosmetology instructor program. And then University of Arkansas Community College of Batesville has a cosmetology instructor program, and that's a CP, those last remaining 3. And they have about maybe 3 to 5 students in them, respectively. Currently, the program is listed as initially enrolling only 3 students as required in terms of building the pipeline for the program. And then by 2026, it will be required to meet viability standards of at least 12 students. The secondary program is a diagnostic medical sonographer program. And it's a unique program in the state that basically trains individuals to become sonographers, imagers of internal body parts and so forth. And it's a unique program in the state. It's designed to be around several hours. And currently there's only one similar program in the state at the University of Arkansas Medical Science. They're initially launching this program in fall 2022 with around 10 students, and they're required to meet viability standards by 2026. Dr. Valerie Wilson, the Chief Academic Officer for Southern Arkansas University Technical College, is on the call. Dr. Wilson?
Thank you, Dr. Walker, and good morning to everyone. The technical certificate in cosmetology instructor will be presented by our program director, Laura Howard, and the associate applied science and medical diagnostic sonography will be presented by the program director, Stephanie Tudor. Mrs. Laura Howard is on the call, and so she will talk about the technical certificate in the cosmetology instructor first.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Dr. Wilson, and thank you, board, for allowing me to present. The purpose of the program is to make sure that there are educators that qualify to teach our instructors program. The instructors program will be open, of course, to any instructor, any licensed cosmetologist that would like to take their career to another level of being an educator. So it's important that we have this program because the cosmetology department itself is growing. That career is actually growing. And because it's growing, we want to make sure that we get those instructors that's qualified to teach. Also, once they complete the program, their employment, their finances will grow extremely. Here in Arkansas, the average is $38,123 for that instructor when they complete the program. Our students will have to, of course, pay privately or get student loans because of the cost is not very much expensive. So that's most important because they would have to pay out of pocket. Also, our lab was just newly renovated, so we wouldn't have to have a different building or come up with some other funding to make sure that we have some place to teach them. So would there be any questions for me?
Yes, this is Jerry Cash. I have a question.
Sure.
You indicate that you're going to have one student in the class, to start with one student. How can you economically declare feasibility with one student?
So the state requires that we start off with one student, and as that student get 200 hours, then we can add a second student. Then when that student get 200 hours, we can add a third student. So it's kind of continual on from one student at a time. It's only a 600-hour course. So each 200 hours, we can add another student. So it would be 3 students within the course of the year. Did I answer your question?
It did. I still question whether it's economically feasible to do that, but you're in more of it. You have more information.
And this is Dr. Wilson from SAU Tech, and I will add that the students in the instructor program are taught by the cosmetology instructor along with all of the students that are enrolled in the cosmetology program proper. And so the instructor students actually are on the floor and actually serve as a co-instructor with the main cosmetology instructor. So those instructor students pay their tuition and fees, and once they're ready, they're actually on the floor working with the cosmetology students, and they're taught by the same instructor. So those people are actually being paid, and it's a benefit to us because when they're on the floor, that allows us to take additional cosmetology students where we can only take 25 students with one instructor. When we have an instructor student on the floor, we can then increase that number of students we can take in the cosmetology program. So we're not allocating an instructor to only teach that instructor student. That instructor student is actually in clinical, if you will, at the same time that the major instructor is teaching the students that don't have licenses yet.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wilson and Ms. Howard, for that explanation. Are there any other questions for them?
This is Al. I had one follow-up on, that was a great explanation. As you add the instructor student, you can add to the curriculum volume is what it seems like. Is there the demand there to add to that?
And I'll let Ms. Howard, we're excited at SAU Tech because we recently hired Ms. Laura Howard, actually lucky for us, from another state. And the enrollment in our cosmetology program, we haven't finished enrollment for the fall, and we're 3 students short from the maximum number of students we can take. So we feel confident that we're going to max out and possibly have a waiting list. So with that instructor student, that would allow us more students, and then we wouldn't have to put students on a waiting list. So to answer your question, yes, right now down in our part of the state, there is a demand.
Wonderful. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, if not, we will move on to agenda item number 18 on page 18.1 of your agenda book. It's a new program, a Master of Science in Nursing, Postmaster Certificate in Public Health by the University of Arkansas at Monticello. Dr. Walker will provide background information.
Ms. Griffin, we'll go back to the social applied science real quick and medical diagnostic sonography for Dr. Wilson's team to present that to the board as well.
Okay, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead.
You're fine.
Our program director, Stephanie Tudor, will be presenting this credential.
Good morning, board. My name's Stephanie Tudor. I am excited to be at SAU Tech and to start up the sonography program. First of all, is there a need? The workforce analysis results show that the job market for this major is strong. Based on the U.S. Bureau for Labor and Statistics website, the job outlook for 2018 to 2028 is an increase of 17%. One employer that we surveyed in the area said that 1 to 2 positions would be available in the next 2 to 5 years for this occupation. So she also stated that our communities deserve to have staff that are adequately trained to ensure that they are getting the care that they deserve. There are no other associate degree programs in diagnostic medical sonography in our state. So the students that we serve in South Arkansas would benefit from a 2-year degree program versus a 4-year degree program. The healthcare facilities in South Arkansas would benefit as well because they would have an employee pool to choose from. Right now, there are not many options for employees because there's not enough sonographers to go around. Since the announcement of this program, the college's phone has rang off the wall, numerous calls from individuals who are interested in enrolling in the program. Based on promising research statistics, SAU Tech would like to grow its allied health programs by providing additional career opportunities to prospective students. Feedback received from local hospitals indicate the need for this program. And again, there are no other programs of this kind in this part of the state. Budget items, we already have a building, classroom, scanning lab, they're all in place. Additional equipment that we will need are ultrasound machines, simulation phantoms, program accreditation fees, and miscellaneous supplies. We are very fortunate to have received 2 grants, a workforce grant, $940,000. It's for 3 years, and it pays for program and instructor salaries, equipment and supplies, student resources coordinator, and also the support. The student support funds were included in the grant to be awarded to needy students based on Arkansas Career Pathways model. We also received the ACC Ready for Life grant, which was for 1 year in the amount of $78,413.50. Students that are entering the field with entry-level education certificates through ARDMS and ART can anticipate a median pay of around $28 per hour. And that's based on online job advertisements between January 2020 and 2021 here in Arkansas. So as you can see, diagnostic medical sonography is a growing field with promising employment opportunities and salaries. Based on the facts obtained, South Arkansas and the surrounding areas can benefit from the implementation of this allied health program. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Dr. Tudor? Thank you so much.
Dr. Tudor, it sounds like with the interest you've had with telephone calls, that are we shooting too low to project the starting enrollment at 10?
The reason why we put the starting enrollment at 10 is because we have to have clinical sites. If we don't have enough clinical sites to go around, we can't have any more students than that. So as we build the program, we can try to accommodate more students. We just have to have the credentialing out there to the other sonographers so that we can place those students in a clinical setting.
So you're telling me then the 10 is the cap?
10 is the cap for right now, is until we can get more clinical sites.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Dr. Tudor, this is Grayson Bigger. I was really interested in this program, and first I want to say congratulations on your DOL and DRA grant. That's not a small feat. So I know as part of that program, you've got to have some local partners in the workforce that are sitting on that kind of advisory committee. Can you speak to a little bit about your local partners and the job placement for students after they finish this program?
So yes, we have. We've been in contact with the local employers around here in this area, and they have all given positive feedback on hiring of our students. Other than that, I'm not.
Is it like your health department or clinics or?
It's going to be more like clinical and hospital based.
Okay.
More so hospital, but some clinics also.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, if not,
I failed, this is Al, I failed to see in the proposal or in the book, I might have missed it. Did we give any sort of an estimate of a starting salary range for this graduate?
The statistics that I found are around a median pay of $28 per hour. That could be give or take.
Mr. Brodell, the starting pay that we estimated was around $58,000 based on information she just mentioned there, and then and for the bachelor's program is around $65,000.
Thank you.
okay, if there are no other questions, we will move on now to agenda item number 18, Master of Science in Nursing Postmaster's Certificate in Public Health by the University of Arkansas at Monticello.
Ms. Griffin, this program is designed for individuals who are currently RNs, registered nurses, to help enhance their skill set and do a focus in terms of public health, as well as the Postmaster Certificate program, or for individuals who already have an MS or MSN, a Master's of Science in Nursing, to get additional training. The program is rather unique in the state in the sense that no other state program offers a similar degree type in terms of nursing with a focus in public health, nor a Postmaster Certificate in Public Health Nursing. Listed there we gave a couple of examples of what exists in the state in terms of like public health degrees. For example, one at Southern Arkansas University, one at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. The University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences has several courses in public health, from public health certificate programs at the graduate level to Masters of Public Health with a JD attached, or pharmacology degree, or leadership attached. The institutions indicate they will have initial enrollment starting in summer 22, about 6 to 10 students, and projected to reach viability standards that need at least 12 students in order to be successful. Ms. Haley, who is the Chief Academic Officer for the University of Arkansas at Monticello, will now provide additional information to the board. Crystal, are you there?
Crystal may not be, but I am. I'm Dr. Haley. I'm the Dean of Nursing, and I'm ready to speak to the proposal.
Go ahead, Ms. Haley.
Thank you for having me. So as mentioned, the MSN degree is purely online. It has 37 credit hours, and the postmaster certificate is purely online with 13 credit hours. As you can see from the table, the proposed program is not available in Arkansas, but in the 2018-19 academic year, there were over 1,000 MSN degrees with a focus on public health awarded in the U.S. This pandemic has definitely shown us nursing educators the needs of our nurses, and they need advanced public health curriculum in advanced practice educational programs. In 2019, we sent out over 500 employer needs surveys. We received 17 surveys back, which reported 337 jobs designated for RNs with the MSN degree. Of those 337 jobs, 122 positions were vacant. That's an astounding number for only 17 surveys returned. The survey data also anticipated 76 additional vacancies in the next 2 to 5 years, and the number of current employees that would benefit from enrolling in this degree or postmaster's certificate was 70. Also, during the fall 2019 semester, we asked RNs in our clinical settings, our past nursing graduates, and our currently enrolled nursing students to give us feedback on interest in developing an online MSN in public health and postmaster's certificate. We received 28 responses in support of developing this program with no negative responses. From our employers' needs survey, we asked how this degree would benefit the local community, state, region, or nation. And these were just a few of the statements that we received back. To highlight, the positions will serve well in school districts, clinics, or hospitals. There is a nursing faculty shortage, and this person would qualify to teach our students. Also, a public health focus is going to encourage RNs to be active in community health opportunities, such as grant writing and public health patient education opportunities. The public health expertise benefits our local region by application of public health knowledge to plan and provide service, to fill in the gaps related to disparities based on our local economy and trends. Now, this is the first graduate nursing degree and nursing postmaster's certificate on the UAM campus. How it fits with UAM strategic needs, first is based on recruitment. So this table is an outline of our ASN and our BSN pre-licensure programs that we already have, since those programs will be one of the main recruitment pools for our MSN program. This data is from the beginning of the fall 2020 semester. Our projected enrollment in this program for the first year is 6, which that is very conservative. We anticipate that being much, much higher. When we specifically look at how this degree and postmaster's certificate addresses UAM stakeholders, partnerships, and education, this proposal fits all those needs. So regarding our stakeholders, we fit through collaboration and professionalism. Regarding partnerships, we fit all 3 categories of teamwork, economics, and ethics. And lastly, the category of education fits perfectly through diversity and evidence-based practice, because we have courses that specifically address all of those topics in depth. Our anticipated budget expenses come from additional help needed for teaching through adjunct and clinical instructors. We don't request any additional new teaching during year one. The program will be taught through our current instructors. Year two has a budget request for accreditation of our program, and year three requests a full-time position. We do not anticipate additional funds for information technology needs, faculty offices, library needs, or student academic support to sustain the program, and there is no grant funding. Based on the employer needs survey we collected, the salary range reported for those RNs currently employed with an MSN degree were $40,000 to $130,000 a year, depending on experience. It's also worth mentioning that two of the facilities offer a $5,000 salary increase for positions that return to earn their master's degree. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports RN with a BSN degree have an average annual salary of a little over $58,000. They project the employment for RNs to grow by 7% through 2029, including those with public health certification. Now, looking at the industry profile for RNs with a master's degree, salaries are reported at $72,000 to $106,000. So having that specialty focused MSN degree or postmaster's certificate could almost double an RN with a BSN's degree salary if they enter specific jobs listed here that prefer an MSN degree or certificate focused in public health. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haley. We will move on to agenda item number 19, a new program, a Master of Education, Vocational Rehabilitation, Addiction Counseling by the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Dr. Walker will provide background information for this item.
Mr. Griffin, this item contains two types of degrees. One is a Master's of Education in Vocational Rehabilitation and Addiction Counseling, which leverages the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff's unique programs in addiction studies. Currently, they're the only institution in the state with graduate training in that area. The program will be housed in the School of Education and with a defined curriculum designed to get individuals ready to be addiction counselor specialists. The secondary item listed below is a Master's of Business Administration. It is a unique program for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, their first graduate business program. It's designed to integrate things like gaming and casino management, hospitality management, and business analytics. Currently in the state, the vocational rehab master's program is unique. No comparisons there. And then in terms of the MBA program, most of the 4 institutions in the state have an MBA program. Arkansas State University, Jonesboro has an MBA program with about 20 people enrolled. Arkansas Tech has an MBA program. Henderson, Arkansas, Southern Arkansas University, Magnolia, University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, University of Arkansas at Little Rock, and University of Central Arkansas. The institution has projected initial enrollment in these programs for fall 2022, around 10 to 20 students, and they will be required to meet viability on both programs for 12 students, respectively, by fall of 2027. Dr. Robert Carr, who's the current Academic Affairs Chief Academic Officer at UAPB, will provide additional context for these programs.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. Of course, we are trying to, or asking your permission to offer a Master of Education in Vocational Rehabilitation with an emphasis of addiction studies. It is an interdisciplinary program, as Dr. Walker suggested. If we could move to the next slide. This is a program that's a helping profession program. So the people who will be interested in this program won't go into it to get wealthy. I'm married to a school counselor by trade, and this program has 60 hours that a person would have to achieve to receive this master's. The reason it's a 60-hour program is because we intend to have it accredited by CACREP, which is the Council for Accreditation for Counseling and Related Educational Programs. This is an area that is a fast growing area, as you can see. The job outlook in the next 10 years is above average. We're looking at least a 10% growth in this area. Next slide. When we looked at our needs analysis, what we found is that there are many areas for our students that complete this program to practice their craft in. They can work for the Department of Veteran Affairs. They can work in private industry and business, substance abuse programs, as well as training and evaluation centers. What makes this a unique program, or really a vital program for the state of Arkansas, is that this program will be the only face-to-face program in the state. It's also designed to address the need for more minority, marginalized, and low resource students in Southeast Arkansas. Of course, this will address the need to diversify the vocational rehabilitation counseling workforce. Next slide. It certainly fits within what we're trying to do at UAPB. When we look at our enrollment strategies, what we know is that the traditional undergraduate student, that pool of students are shrinking. And so we know that we have to do something different. And there is, if you look at the number of students, adult students, as well as people that will be looking to obtain master's degree programs, we know that that pool is growing significantly. With that said, in the last 4 years, we have doubled our number of graduate students from 86 to 172. And within the next 2 years, we intend to double that number as well. And the only way we can do that is to offer high quality graduate programs. So we don't need any additional budget requirements at this time. We were able to repurpose some vacant faculty lines to make them available for our dean to utilize to bring in another faculty member. We're in the process of advertising and hope to have that person in place here within the next 2 months. Next slide. At this time, we don't have any grant funding to support this program. And if you look at the average salaries, it ranges from about $34,000 a year, right at $35,000, to about $50,600. So at this time, I will entertain any questions that you have pertaining to this degree. All right, well, let's move on to the Masters of Business Administration. There are a lot of MBAs in the state of Arkansas. If you could go back to that previous slide, I would appreciate it. What makes this MBA unique is the areas of emphasis we chose to emphasize, which is gaming and casino management. As you're aware, we recently had the Saracen Casino locate right here in Pine Bluff in Jefferson County. Also, we have a new hospitality and tourism management program on the undergraduate level, and this program will allow those students to feed into our MBA program. And then, of course, business analytics will be a new area for UAPB. Next slide. When we look at the median pay for a person with an MBA, is about $66,247 a year. People with MBAs, there's about a 12% job growth for people who have those degrees. So we feel that they will be able to find gainful employment or move up in the jobs that they already have. Next slide. So our MBA program is unique, again, as I said earlier, because of the emphasis that we have chosen. But when we look at where our students will be employed, they can be employed in governmental jobs as well as the private sector. And so we're certainly excited about that. Next slide. this program, again, is going to be a face-to-face program. And I read an article about last night when I was preparing for this presentation. And what I found is that there are only 8% of minorities, African Americans rather, that have MBAs. That is an issue that we certainly hope to help to address, because if without the MBA degree, then we don't have people that look like us or that represents our university in corporate leadership positions, which means that the number of students that we graduate that are looking for those job opportunities won't have proper mentors to help them matriculate through the ranks of the business world. We have several opportunities currently through the Walton Foundation, the Walmart Foundation, and some other ones that are coming down the pike, where they are looking to partner with UAPB so that we can form internships to get some of our best and brightest students really looking at the corporate world and the corporate structure. So we think that this is a very important program for our institution. Next slide. Again, this is sort of the same rationale that I use for the other program. This fits in because we already have what we think is a waiting list of students that are ready to embark upon this journey. And we're excited because we know that this program is going to be very viable and it's going to play an important role for the state of Arkansas. Next slide. In terms of additional budget needs, we found that we had sufficient staffing in the School of Business and Management. We just hired 2 additional faculty members to help support this program. One faculty member we were able to hire utilizing some Title III funding that we had. And so that definitely gives us a little bit of a break off the E&G side. So we're excited about that. Next slide. No grant funding. And if you look at the average wages for a person with an MBA, it's a low of about 63 of about 40,000 if they're a data management officer, to a high of right around 110,000 a year, which is very good salary for the state of Arkansas. At this time, I will entertain any questions that you have, and I also have Dr. Owapatu, who's the Dean of the School of Business and Management, who's at the ready to help me in case I need assistance.
Ms. Griffin, I need to make a correction on the agenda item there with NBA. I misspoke in terms of the number of enrollees. At Arkansas State, Jonesboro is 125. At Arkansas Tech is 61. At Henderson State is 52. At Southern Arkansas University Magnolia is currently 146. UA Fayetteville is 228. UA Little Rock is 121. And University of Central Arkansas is 151.
And we certainly want to grow our program to that range as well.
Okay, are there any questions?
Dr. Carr, this is Jim Carr. How are you today?
Hey, Dr. Carr, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah. I like that master's in vocational rehab, and I think that's great. The question I have, and don't be offended by the question, please, but we have probably 10 MBA programs in Arkansas. And my reading of professional journals tells me that many MBA programs are having a tough time today recruiting students. And my question is, do we need another MBA program in this state?
I think the answer to that question in particular for UAPB is a resounding yes. I think we play a very special role in the state of Arkansas. We have currently around 2,650 students. 94, 95% of those students are African-American students, minority students. And I think we will provide a pipeline for minority students to obtain an MBA and to enter very high paying jobs when they receive those degrees.
Okay, are there any other questions for Dr. Carr?
Dr. Carr, this is Grayson Baker. I had a follow-up on that, and you used a word I really like, which is you want to serve as a pipeline for these students. And with the gaming and casino management, can you talk a little bit about any partnership you might have with the Saracen Casino and what their needs are in terms of the number of employees with MBAs?
Sure. Let me have Dr. Owapatu. He's been in some conversations with our colleagues at Saracen Casino.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lawrence Sawopetu from the School of Business. Yes, we do have a partnership with Saracen Casino, and we've been talking through our Vice Chancellor for Development. They gave us a letter of appreciation and letter of support that yes, they want this particular program, and they will be ready to develop it with us as well. They're going to support us with internships. They're going to support us with cooperative agreements and all these issues. So many of our students are actually working with the Saracen Casino at this point, and they will expand more to other areas in the hospitality business.
Thank you. Did they give you an indication of how many employees at the MBA level that they would need or welcome hiring?
I believe seriously so, yes, because we've been talking about that, and they said they're going to let us know, give more information about their needs as soon as we have the MBA with us.
So I believe that what Dr. Owapatu was saying, and I hope I'm not putting words in his mouth. We have had some substantive conversations with our counterparts at the Saracen Casino. They do have some employees that are interested in our program as soon as we have it approved. Those numbers, we aren't definitely sure what those numbers are at the moment, but we do expect to have more than to have a few of their employees join our program to receive a master's in business administration.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Carr and Dr. Owapatu. We will now move on to agenda item number 20 on page 21 of your agenda book, Institutional Certification Advisory Committee Report and Resolutions. Dr. Walker.
Ms. Griffin, there's 3 universities and 19 degrees and certificate programs that are being offered by out-of-state institutions to Arkansas students, and they're listed on your agenda book there. This is the listing of that.
Do we have any questions concerning agenda item number 20? Okay, we'll move on to number 21, letters of notification.
Ms. Griffin, these are programmatic changes that could be curriculum changes, new certificate programs. They are approved by the Arkansas Higher Education Director, and they're brought before the board as agenda items for notification and approval. There's currently about well over 850 of those listed in your book now. I know the number says 843, but it's been updated since the board book was printed.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for agenda item number 21? If not, agenda item number 22, letters of intent.
These are notifications to institution, the public, and to the board of intent by institutions to offer degree programs in a future date. From the date of the letter of intent printed in the board book, institution has a year to submit the proposal for review and submission to the board.
Okay, are there any questions for agenda item number 22? Okay, if there are none, we will move into the approval of items 15 through 20. Do I hear a motion to recommend approval of agenda items 15 through 20 to the full board?
I'll make the motion.
We have a second.
I would second that, Jerry Cash.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If not, agenda items 15 through 20 will be recommended to the full board. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Okay, the academic committee is now adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin.